I heard a case this morning that really irritated me. People who can't get over their past and keep picking on their partner are devastating to live with. Picking at open wounds brought today's couple into divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Rachel Harrison and Michael Singleton. The two of you have been married for 9 years. You do not, however, want to be married anymore. We have a dispute over the division of property, and I will get to that momentarily. But before I do, Ms. Harrison, I want to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and how we got into divorce court today?
Yes, ma'am. Me and Michael were met 9 years ago as we were supposed to be a one-night stand, and it lasted 9 years. So,
now, how does that happen? Walk me through that one.
It was all the tricks and stuff. I don't know.
The tricks?
He was awesome when I first met him. He didn't act like he does now. And so, I don't know. It does something to you. I don't know. My head was kind of...
Is it like you met in a bar and you were just going to have a one-night stand, or did you...
A mutual friend.
Hooked you up?
Yes.
Said, oh, here's a hot guy you can have sex with.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happened?
Well, I was dancing, and I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want anything to do. I just wanted somebody to have sex with, and then he was supposed to leave. And it didn't work like that.
Mr. Singleton, were you aware of your job at the time was to have sex and go?
Yep, I was aware.
You was aware, and you were okay with that?
I was cool with it.
Then what happened?
I came back after work, and the day after that, and the day after that, and just slowly moved my stuff in.
And the next thing you know, and then eventually
Next thing
you got married.
we was loving each other and talking about getting married. And
okay. Now, at the time, were you a stripper?
Yes.
Okay. Can't make this stuff up. Did he have a problem with the fact that that's what you were doing? Because I understand at one juncture you stopped doing that to become a stay-at-home mom.
Yes. Well, I didn't realize that he had been trying to get my friend to talk me into calling him for like a year prior. Like, I guess he had seen me over at her house and was like, hey, you need to tell her to call me. And
can't blame you for trying.
No, cannot at all. And look what happened. You got her.
2 kids later?
2 kids later.
Yeah.
So this was before the one-night stand.
Yeah.
For a year, he'd been scoping you out. He liked you. So he finally got his friend to hook the two of you up.
Yes.
And so, really, you were working this whole thing all along, weren't you, Mr. Singleton?
She finally listened to her friend to take my phone call.
Take your phone call, and you know, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Okay. When did the trouble first start?
about immediately. About 6 months into it, I really knew. But
well, what happened 6 months in?
He had quit working. I become this, become the sole provider, and it's a lot to come home, from dancing and hustling men to try to come home and love on a guy that you're supporting. It's just hard.
It's
hard
a lot
to
of love
resentment.
on a guy that you're supporting. Ooh, that was deep.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because since you mentioned that hustling men and all of that, I understand that you have a number of sugar daddies, or did have a number of sugar daddies, and that your sugar daddies would pay, one of them paid for your wedding.
Yes.
Explain how you managed that.
I just asked real nicely. Mike actually lived with me and one of them. We split up.
You, him, and a sugar daddy all lived in one house?
Yes, a really big one, but yes.
How'd you manage that?
I don't know. It's the charm or something.
It worked.
It worked. What, did it bother you
time.
that you were in some other dude? I assume it was the other dude's house.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Did it bother you at all that you were in some dude's house that liked your woman?
I was living it up at the time.
Oh, you enjoyed it?
I was living it up at the time.
So you didn't care?
I cared, but I wasn't thinking about it.
And the sugar daddy didn't mind him?
If he did, he never said anything. He just...
Didn't mind?
If he did, he never said anything.
It was a party, y'all, come on.
I got to dress up real cute, and we'd all go out, and...
The three of you? I I always thought of myself as a successful, capable person. I do not know how one pulls that off. I'm stunned by it. I'm absolutely, maybe it's a whole, you know. Did the sugar daddies ever become a problem for you?
Yeah, after a point, when we're living by ourselves, and it's like, come on, let's try to make it just me and you.
But you got to work for that to happen.
Yeah, I do got to work.
Did you work?
Off and on, I worked, yeah.
He's worked like 4 times in the 9 years I've been married to the man.
You've only worked 4 times in the
Like
in the 9
5
years?
out of the 9 years, yeah.
5 years out of 9 years. Now, what's been the problem with the work? Is it that you can't get work, or that you can't keep it, or you're just not looking?
You can't work while you're sitting in front of the TV, living off somebody.
Say something, Mr.
When
Singleton.
money's coming in
Say
now,
something.
when I was living it up.
So you were satisfied, like, look, she's bringing in the money. I don't care where from. I don't care what dudes are giving it to her. I don't have to do anything but sit in front of the TV, so I'm straight.
It wasn't really about sitting in front of the TV, maybe later on, but...
In the beginning, it was a party.
it was a party.
It seemed like he enjoyed the men
First 6 years.
Googling me, and he enjoyed watching me hustle men and enjoyed watching me dress up and go out. That's the way I felt about it. It turned him on.
It had some value beyond just the economic value. It kind of, did you like it? Did you like watching that?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Did you feel like a little minor league pimp?
A minor league pimp.
Yeah.
Nah, not really.
Because from my understanding is, pimps really enjoy that power of primping them and putting them out there for their own economic gain, and it seems to be something that makes them feel rather good about themselves. Did you get a little minor league pimpdom going on there?
It wasn't minor league, the money we was bringing in.
It was major league pimpdom.
Yeah, it was major league pimping.
Bottom feeder. That's all I got to say about that. Bottom feeder.
I want to be a productive citizen. I want to go to school and raise my kids. To him, I'm not worthy of those things.
Mr. Singleton, do you hold her past over her head when you get angry with her? Are people around you tearing your relationship apart? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mrs. Harrison, you are unhappy in the extreme, aren't you?
I do a lot of crying.
What is it that hurts you so much? Out of all this 9 years, what is it that brings you to tears?
I'm tired of being stomped into the ground every day. I feel like a slave. I'm just there to cook and clean, and if he's having a bad day, I want to be a productive citizen. I want to go to school and raise my kids and go to church. And to him, the life that I've lived and the sins that I've committed, I'm not worthy of those things, even though he promised them to me. You know, if we changed, if we grew, if we straightened up, that he would do things to get me out of the streets. And I changed, and he's still a jerk.
Mr. Singleton, do you hold her past over her head when you get angry with her?
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Sometimes.
You understand that you were a large impetus to part of that past. I mean,
I understand.
you enjoyed the fruits of whatever sins you said she committed, so how is it that she is sinful and you are not?
I didn't look at it that way, really.
What?
I didn't look at it that way.
Well, what is it you're mad about? Let's come to that. What frustrates you and angers you so that you must call the woman who supports you out of her name?
when you say you're going to be in one spot and you end up not being at that spot, don't lie to me. Just be real.
So you say she lies about where she's going and what she's
Saturday
doing.
afternoon, she'll come home at 9 o'clock the next morning. Where you been? Don't worry about it.
Are you out and about?
Yeah. Yes,
Why?
ma'am. To irritate him. We have a 2-year-old, and I gained a lot of weight, and I almost died having her. And so I felt really bad. I gained, that 100 pounds. I just felt awful. So now that I'm trying to lose weight, I've lost 50 pounds. And
Good for you.
Thank you. And so I want him to acknowledge me. I mean, we are in our 30s. We shouldn't be having sex once every 6 months. Mm-hmm. He shouldn't treat me bad because I asked for sex, or I have to negotiate, or...
Let me ask you this. Which one of the two of you decided that the life that you were leading was no longer appropriate and you wanted to change?
Both of us.
Both of you.
Yes.
Do you believe that he is unhappy with the choice that he made?
Yes.
Mr. Singleton, do you believe you are unhappy with the choice that you made to say, okay, no, we're no longer going to party, and now that the party is over, you're mad that you're stuck in the situation that you're in?
No, I would like to think not. I don't think I'm...
Do you know what she's talking about when she says she feels like she's being stomped into the ground?
Yeah.
Do you understand it? Give me some example. And be honest, we're here, it's over, we're dividing property. Give me a sense of what your household is like.
On edge. We could argue about I put the kids in the wrong outfit or something, and that's an all-day argument.
No.
Turns into an all-day argument.
He sits in front of the TV, and then after I gripe and gripe, can you please help me? I should not have to do stuff, be the only person doing anything around the house from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. And it's like a big inconvenience. Me and my kids are inconvenience to him and his movies and his TV. And he can go. I'll help him pack his stuff. Go. Just stop treating people like crap. And your next wife, tell her that you're a douchebag. I mean, I don't
Let her know what she signed up for. He's going to sit in front of the TV and not help. Mrs. Harrison, you say that Mr. Singleton treats you like a child, so much so that your son is starting to mimic his behavior.
Yes.
Give me an example of what he's doing and what your son is picking up.
I asked my son to go clean his room. Our son is 6, and my son said, when my movie's over, like he tries to act just like his father. His father, every little boy, their father is their role model. Mm-hmm. And Mike's teaching him things that I don't think any child should have to.
Have you noticed that your son is disrespectful to your wife, and does it at all mirror the behavior that you are engaging in?
Yeah, I'm starting to notice it.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we're here. If we can work it out and be mutual together, then I'd like to work it out.
Here's what I often see. Here's what I often see, Mr. Singleton.
I'll walk away.
The jerk in the relationship, be it the woman or the man, the jerk in the relationship stays a jerk until the person is out the door. Then once the person is out the door, they toddle over here to see me. Then they make a few blanket statements about how I want to change and how I'm going to be different. So the jerk doesn't have to be alone. You're getting all of the benefits of having a wife. You're getting someone there to take care of you and do all the things that you don't want to do and take care of the house and take care of the money. And then once you say a couple of nice things, you go back home and be the same jerk you were when you first came here. Why should I believe you're not just like every jerk that I see that does that?
Because if you say it's best that we go our different ways, then that's what's going to be.
That's not my job. Your job as a man is to decide whether or not you're going to treat your wife like a human being and a person. Your job is to decide that the woman that you love the most does not feel like the least when she's with you. Your job is to raise your son to be a good man and respect the women in his life and respect his mother. That's your job. You have to decide that's your job. You have to do it. And my question to you is, why should I believe that in any way, shape, or form, you're going to do your job?
You take my word for it, but why would you do that?
A year and a half ago, I told him, I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Either we go to counseling or I'm done.
And we tried counseling.
And he got me in there, and he told the counselor I was manipulating her, and my tears were fake, and I was wrong. Anytime she asked him
Did you do that?
Counselor was being biased. She was.
How he shrugs his shoulders.
How was she
and-
biased?
She was just taking her side.
Well, you kind of are a jerk.
To marriage counseling, isn't the counselor supposed to not take a side, whether it be the man or the woman?
What the counselor's supposed to do is take a look at what's going on, determine who's right or wrong in what capacity, and then change the situation. In your house, you're the jerk.
Yeah, well.
So why would she come in there and pat you on the back and tell you everything's all right when you're teaching your son to disrespect his mother by the manner in which he treats her? Why would she co-sign on that?
I don't know.
Mrs. Harrison, the rest of my comments are going to be directed to you. First of all, what you're asking for is you want there's a trailer and a car that you both possess. You want the trailer, and you're willing to give him the car, correct?
Yes.
Do you understand the items about which we're speaking? Do you concur that that is how things should go, or do you want both, or either one or the other one?
No, she can have a trailer.
She can have it. Fine. Then we resolve that. You will have that. This is what I want to talk to you about. Is this, Ms. Harrison? Don't live his limitations. He's limited on a lot of levels, and I don't know what kind of upbringing he has. But I don't see anything over there that will allow him to absorb the information that he needs to treat you like the woman that you are. So you step off and step on and step away from him, because he can't give you anything, because he has nothing to give you. He's so small. He is so transparent, you know, you can see right through him. There's not a whole lot there. He's waving around over there. There's no center. There's no... Sometimes I'm able to say something to people and you can see a glimmer of hope. You can see some understanding. Nothing. Lights out, stayed out, ain't gonna come on. And I'm not sure how bright the light is once it is on. So what I would do if I were you is believe in your own self. And he's not gonna get any better. So don't go back. You'll be fine on your own. You really, really will be. And once you get away from that constant negative commentary all of the time, you're going to feel yourself get stronger and more able and more capable. You're going to feel as pretty as you are, because that constant negative commentary is constraining you. And I know women have a hard time leaving, because once we build a nest, we defend that sucker, even if the person in the nest with you is the one doing the worst things to you. But I'm telling you, sprout some wings and fly on, because it's the best thing for you. Judgment in favor of Mrs. Harrison. It is so weird. Michael was an error hoarder, a person who collects all the sins and the wrongs and the mistakes made by their partner so they don't have to see their own. I hate an error hoarder.